Hello and welcome to the Here We Grow Show, a show specifically designed to bring together community leaders making a difference and share financial strategies so you can plan for and live the retirement lifestyle you've always dreamed. Your host is Amazon bestselling author, president, and founder of Foguth Financial Group, Michael Foguth.
Hi, I'm Michael Foguth. I believe in educating you about information that matters to you and your retirement. Join me this week and every week as we welcome today's leaders in our community, as well as experts in the field of finance and retirement to discuss topics that matter to you today. These discussions can help you make better financial decisions so you can plan for and live the retirement of your dreams. Welcome to the show, folks. Again, another great week of the Here We Grow radio show. I am your host, Michael Foguth of the Foguth Financial Group, and I am excited because this week's guest is the biggest guest we've ever had on the show. You are not going to want to miss the second half of this episode. So before we get into the special guest this week, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on out there for holiday spending, because what would the show be without a few financial tips and things to get out there to better your financial future, and especially this time of year. So with that being said, I had an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with my friends over there at Fox 2 the other day doing a segment about Christmas spending, really holiday spending, if you will. And this year's like no other year. I mean, it's been an unpredictable year. It's been a crazy year. It's been ups and downs in the market. It's been ups and downs in spending. It's been having a job, not having a job, going out to eat, not going to eat, having Thanksgiving, right, folks? It's been a crazy, crazy month, year, whatever you want to call it. So what we had a chance to talk about on TV was some of the top 5 things really to understand your holiday shopping and going into things. Because listen, you want to talk about some crazy statistics for the month of December, or really the Christmas holiday in itself. There is almost 33 million real Christmas trees that were sold last year. 33 million Christmas trees that were sold last year. More than 60% of U.S. consumers buy their gifts online. I bet you that number is going to be skyrocketed this year. I know in my household, my wife usually goes out with her mom and her sisters and does some shopping for Christmas. But it wasn't really feasible to be bouncing from store to store this year with everything going on. So we had a party at our house, an online shopping party. Everybody came in, they brought their laptops and their computers, and they logged in and they had their list, and all of their shopping this year was done online. And I'm assuming a lot of you out there listening did some online shopping, and you're not alone. So when you're doing this holiday shopping, some tips that I want to give with you that I shared with the Fox 2 audience was, number 1, set a budget. I know that sounds like you hear it all the time. Have a plan, set a budget. It's true. It's kind of like, holiday weight loss, or the new year is coming in. I want to lose 100 pounds or 10 pounds, whatever the heck that it is. It's impossible to be successful long-term without a plan. And the same thing holds true with your spending. If you don't have a budget and you just walk into a store, or you log onto the store's online store, if you don't have a plan, next thing you know, it's like, is that enough? Not enough. I need to buy this, buy that. You don't really know what you're buying, and you maybe bought 2 gifts for somebody because you didn't keep track and you didn't have a plan. So make sure not only do you set yourself a budget, but you have a plan for who you're going to buy for. So this is really easy. All you have to do is, before you start any shopping, make a list. If you're married, make a list with your spouse. If you're not married, make it with yourself. And these are the people I'm going to buy for. And then put a cost or a budget amount. Hey, I'm going to spend $50 on my mom and $50 on my dad, or $10 on my siblings, or whatever it is, and then find that budget and then stick to it. So that leads me into number 2 tip. It's having a list, right? So as you're making the budget, maybe you start with a budget. Say, my goal is to only spend this amount of money per year. Let's say it's $1,000. I'm only going to spend $1,000 this year on all my Christmas gifts. Now you can kind of reverse engineer it out and say, okay, well, here's my list. Here's what I have to buy for. Right? And so when you do that, you can have your list, and then you can kind of say, okay, well, I'm going to start here. This is the most important person I buy for, my wife, my life, it's my wife. Okay. She's going to get the most amount of money. It's going to go there, then my kids, and then my parents, and so on. So make sure you set limits. That's tip number 3. Set a limit. So for those of you out there listening right now, budgets and lists and limits, it's all going to help you stay on track. And that's the most important thing that we have to remember. If we get off track and we lose control of where things are at, it can spiral out of control, especially when you're doing things online. You know, when you're out there shopping and your trunk starts to get full, you're like, wow, I got a lot of stuff. And you maybe say, I'm going to hit my limit for the day and I'm going to come back next weekend or next week to figure it out. And you kind of recategorize throughout the week of what you did. But when you start ordering things online, and that's tip number 4, is ordering things online, because it's going to save you time and it's going to save you money to order things online. Here's what I mean. Time, I can literally shop at 3 different stores at the exact same time. That's saving time. I also, when I'm shopping at those 3 different stores, I can compare their prices. And what's really neat is you can just do a copy and paste on your computer. Hey, I'm going to be buying a, ABC toy. Well, copy the name of that toy, put it into your Google search, and then all of the stores that have that item will pop up, and then you can compare the prices. And because it's like, well, it's cheaper over at Target than it was at Meijer or Walmart or whatever it may be, it's not like you have to drive across town to pick that one item up. You just put it into the cart online and it ships to you, and literally like that. So you may have found the item on one website, but it was cheaper on the other. So by shopping online, it's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. Heck, it's going to save you gas money from driving all around town. So make sure you're setting a budget. You're making a list. You're putting limits on your people on your list, and you're ordering those gifts online. And the last thing I want to talk to you all about, and again, there's a lot of other things. There's probably 25 different things we could talk about here today, but I want to limit it to the top 5. Give meaning. Don't just buy things to buy things. I know it sounds like, hey, it's Christmas. I have to buy something for my sister or my brother. I have to. If I don't put something under the tree, I'm going to look like Scrooge. Find out what it is. It may not pop you right now while you're listening. Oh, I know exactly what they need, and you're going to run out there and get it. Put meaning behind it. There's a lot of things out there that, support small businesses with meaning. There's a lot of, the Facebook groups out there that you can join that, are local people who maybe not have a storefront, but they can make goods. Etsy, for those of you that have not heard of that, it's an online store of people that are making things, sometimes right in their own kitchen or in their own home. And it has a meaning behind it, and it's personalized, and it's meant for that one person. And there's maybe not a cost that you're shooting for, but there's a meaning that you're shooting for. So listen, more than 60% of Americans buy their gifts the week before Christmas. And this has been weighing a lot on me lately because, look, I am guilty. I myself am way behind on shopping because it's hard for me to be able to just run out to a store. On my way home, I'm going to surprise and pick up a few things and hide them in the car so nobody sees them. It's hard to do that nowadays. Things are different this year. So what I mean by that is pretend it's the week before Christmas today. Push yourself on that limit, because here's what ends up happening. If we wait until the last minute, you're going to overspend. What do I mean? Maybe things aren't on sale anymore because, look, retailers know this. Retailers know that you have to get these items the week before Christmas. They don't have to offer a sale anymore, because if somebody's buying a present 3 days before Christmas, the odds are they have to buy it, and they're not going to care about the price because, again, talk about our things earlier, they have to do these things. I have to get my brother something. I have to buy my mom something. It's not necessarily going to be the best deal. So if you do things ahead of time, I feel very confident that you're going to be able to shop around. You're going to get one of those better prices, okay? But more importantly, and this happens to me, I'm guilty of this myself, folks. More importantly, you're not going to get hit with the overnight shipping if you buy it online. Or, heck, I got to drive across the state of Michigan to pick up this toy because I bought it online and I need it in 2 days. So I got to hurry up and drive 4 hours there and back. Again, guilty. I've done it before. I'm trying to remind myself not to do that and to get ahead of the curve and to do these things. And again, what about making your own gifts? Doing things that are personal, right? They have meaning behind there. Maybe you have a little bit more time on your hand. I know I do. You can't go out to eat. There's no company Christmas parties. There's no, hey, I'm going to go gather with my friends on Friday. Instead of going out and doing those things that you're accustomed to that you cannot do any longer, maybe you make some of your own gifts. Maybe you figure out what it is that they want and you have more meaning and you put together some things for them, right? So listen, I hope that you picked up a few of these tips and you found them useful. What I really want you to be able to do is go to our website, go to the Foguth Financial Group website, the Fox 2 interview about where we got into really deep details and went over some statistics and numbers are out there. And again, go over those things. But what I really want you to focus on and really what I want to be paying attention to this time of year is the opportunity to be able to give back. And on the Here We Grow radio show, I want to come back from the break and I want to talk to you about some of the opportunities that you have in this community to be able to give back. And the most important thing is our guest on this show. The biggest guest we have ever had on the Here We Grow radio show will be here in just a few minutes. So please don't go anywhere on the Here We Grow radio show. We're going to come back and talk about giving back this time of year and the biggest guest ever on the show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Here We Grow radio show. I am your host, Michael Foguth, the president and founder of Foguth Financial Group and the host of the weekly Here We Grow show that can be found live on the airways or it can be on any one of your favorite podcast download applications. If it's, for me, it's, the Apple Store. I'm a big Apple guy, so I go into there to, Apple Music and hit my podcast. I download them and it's there. If you're not an Apple person, it's on the Android platform. It's everywhere and anywhere where you want it. Or you can download the show each and every week from our website, the Here We Grow radio show website or Foguth Financial Group website. So right before the break, I was telling you two things that I think are very important. Number one, the biggest guest ever. I'm talking the most famous, everybody knows this person in the entire world will be on our show. So you do not want to miss our guest this week. I am excited. Everybody I know has been asking me about this person. So make sure you don't miss that. Number two, giving back. We talked about right before the break, ways that you can save money and set budgets and really, tackle this big hoopla of Christmas shopping and holiday shopping, right? It's one of those areas that people can get in trouble with. But I don't want you to stress over that. What I really want to focus on today's show is giving back. It's a huge opportunity. And again, this year is like no other. This year is one of the craziest years. The holiday season is tough on a lot of people. And I'm telling you, if you have not listened to the show before, if you're a listener each and every week to the show, my heart is in giving back. It's been interviews with Livingston County United Way, with Love Inc., with La Casa, with Severe Weather Network, with Bountiful Harvest, with the list goes on and on and on and on. And those are just right here in our community. Do yourselves a favor. Turn on the Christmas music. Give back by volunteering with your time. Give back with giving money. There's no shortage of that. We do a Toys for Tots donation. And, my wife and I, we match gifts every year. So literally you can give one present to a person and that turns into 2 automatically. You can give 5 presents. It's going to turn into 10. We had somebody online, and again, we normally have the drop-off location here at our office in Brighton, but it's all virtual this year. So our marketing team here has done a phenomenal job. We actually have a direct Amazon link that will be on our website. It'll be in the show notes here that you can click on this direct Amazon link and it will take you to the Amazon store for the Salvation Army. And I'm telling you, I'm not a very technological person. And I know a lot of our clients aren't either. And we've had overwhelming positive response from how easy this is. You literally click on the link. It takes you to the wish list of what they need. Once we get to that wish list, you buy it and the items get shipped directly to the Salvation Army right here in Livingston County. The gifts stay right here in Livingston County. It's something that I think is so important. So do yourselves a favor. Don't get caught up in the hustle and bustle of the season. Remember the reason for the season. All right? We're getting ready to celebrate Jesus's birthday. That's the reason for the season, giving back with time, giving back with financials, blessing other people. Buy that cup of coffee for the person behind you. Put a smile on someone's face. It's not always about money. Smile and tell somebody, hey, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and do your part in spreading the joy of this holiday season. And I'm telling you what, it'll change your entire attitude and mindset moving into the end of this year. So, folks, thank you all so much. I cannot thank you enough for the blessings this year on the show. But I'm going to tell you what, do not go anywhere. We have the biggest guest ever on the Here We Go radio show. This is a worldwide celebrity. This is somebody that everybody is going to know about. So thank you all so much. Hope those holiday tips were important enough for you to be able to listen, take some notes, and actually implement them. And I'm excited. I don't want you to go anywhere. We will be right back with the biggest guest ever on the Here We Go radio show.
When times get tough, who do you have on your team? At Foguth Financial Group, we win by helping you achieve the retirement you've always dreamed of. Clients who work with Foguth Financial Group know they are backed by a solid, experienced, and winning team. It's time to choose your team. Choose the team from Foguth Financial Group, a team of champions. Foguth Financial Group, building our team to be a part of your team.
All right, folks. Well, welcome back to the Here We Grow radio show. Like I said earlier, I'm telling you, this is probably our biggest and best guest ever. Folks, you don't want to miss this. I want you to make sure that if you're ready to go on a long drive, you're going to stay in the car, you're going to listen to this, because this is exciting stuff we have coming up here. Make sure you have good connections. Don't go out of the signal of the radio. Grab your kids, grab your grandkids. You are not going to want to miss our next guest. I'm telling you, I have been excited. I think we all have been excited for this time of year. And this week's guest is the one, the only, Mr. Santa Claus himself, Santy, Kris Kringle, Saint Nick. Let's start off with that, Santa. What do you want us to call you? What's the best name to go by for you?
Michael, it's so good to be here. I'm so happy you can call me anything. Santa Claus, Santy, Kris Kringle, Saint Nick, maybe Santa Claus in the formal letters and the correspondence that I get from all the good boys and all the good girls, but just to be sure you get the right man.
That's right, Santa. I know my kids have sent you lots and lots of letters, and thank you so much for sending them back. And they're always excited to get those in the mail from you. So thank you so much, Santa. And I know my kids were excited this week to have you on. They couldn't believe that their dad was talking to the one, the only Mr. Santa Claus. So are you still going to be rolling around in your sleigh this year, or have you ever considered getting one of those fancy new cars they have out, Santa?
Have you been to the North Pole, my son? You can't get around in a car in the snow in the North Pole. Of course we have to use a sleigh.
What about a fancy four-wheel, Santa? They got those big four-wheel drives now.
You'd have to put chains on the tires to get around up there. I prefer
All right,
reindeer.
Santa. Well, we'll be looking in the sky for the sleigh for you. So, and even today, you got your red, you got your white on so much. Is that because it's your flattering colors on you? I've heard that you were sponsored by a large company.
No. By the sound of things, dear boy, I'll never be able to shake off that little fabrication. No. The reason I wear red is because if I get lost in the North Pole where there's no natural red, remember, I stick out like a sore thumb, and the elves can easily find me. I think this is where the sore thumb thing comes from. Because if you bang your thumb, it goes red, and you can see it for miles and miles.
Well, Santa, look, I know a lot of the kids, the boys and girls out there, want me to ask you, are you magic?
Oh, kids these days. Am I magic? Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I do, Santa. I think you're magical.
You make a belly wobble like a bowl full of jelly. Magic, I would say I'm more talented.
Well, Santa, come on now. What is talent to you?
It's the same as it is to everyone else. 90% hard work, dear boy.
Well, you know what's hard work, Santa? Getting down the chimney. What's the deal with the chimney thing?
I learned when I was a young man the quickest way between 2 points was a straight line. I had to increase efficiency a few hundred years ago, and I realized that the quickest way to the stockings was straight down the chimney chute.
So you gave up on going through the front door, Santa?
Oh, yes, indeed. Way too much hassle. Also, I found when people were leaving their doors unlocked, and it made it easier for me. But I think people should be locking their doors and staying safe these days.
Absolutely. Safety first, Santa. Safety first. What else is helping you increase your efficiency nowadays?
Oh, you're asking quite a few things of me here. I can't be giving away all of my secrets, but let me see. I used to go around on an old goat. It was great, but just not as quick as I needed to be, so I upgraded to a horse, dear boy. Then I upgraded to a few reindeer, and then I added more and more reindeer until I found the right balance. Rudolph was my latest recruit, and so is the poster boy. He's a good-looking reindeer, in fairness to him. The same nose as myself. Red nose.
Red nose, Santa. He's leading that sleigh. I know he is. So what do you tell the kids about everything on their list? Because I know these lists are getting longer and longer and longer these days.
Well, I tell them I do the best. I do the best. You know, some things like live animals, that's what the parents or the grandparents would want to do. And I usually don't do phones, anything with a monthly bill. Santa doesn't have those things. I'm a toy builder, and the elves build toys, so I stick to what I do best.
Well, Santa, I know in all the years you've been doing this, you've probably got quite a few unique requests, would you say?
Oh, yes, I have. One little girl wanted a police taser.
Whoa, Santa. Hey, I've had Mike Murphy on this show before, and I'll have to ask him about those police tasers. Now, look, I know you got a pretty good gig out there. You only got to work one day a year. What's your favorite part about that?
Oh, it's the children, Michael, dear boy. I love it. And watching the expressions of the parents, I get a lot of compliments, and I really enjoy the good boys and the good girls out there.
Well, Santa, your busiest day is Christmas Eve. I know you got to get to work early, but you work all year round building the toys and working with the elves. What's the toughest part of your job year round?
Oh, it's the elves, my friends. Those elves, they like to have a party here and there, and sometimes we have to keep them on task because they will run around and jump around when they're building toys, and we have to keep them in line, my friends.
Well, Santa, everybody likes to have fun here and there, so you're doing a good job keeping everybody in line. And look, you're doing such hard jobs and keeping the elves in line and delivering all of the presents. Do you, Santa Claus, get any presents?
Oh, the greatest gift that anyone gives to me is the joy and the Christmas cheer on that wonderful day. I really don't get presents. My presents are the expressions on the good boys and girls' faces.
What about Mrs. Claus? She doesn't buy you any presents, Santa?
She did give me a new suit this year that I'm quite fond of. I think it looks very nice on me.
You are looking pretty dapper today, Santa. That is a nice new suit you have. And look, I know I get a lot of calls from my kids and the kids out there here in Livingston County and across the country. And they say, look, how do we stay on the nice list? Because I know if I'm on the nice list, Santa's bringing us our gifts. How do kids stay on that nice list, Santa?
Being nice. It's nice to be nice. Everyone just be nice, do good deeds, treat your brothers and sisters well, and listen to your parents. And go to bed.
Hey, I'm going to replay
right
that over and over and over again for my kids, Santa. How do kids get on that naughty list that you have? Because I know you got a long naughty and a long nice list. How do kids get on the naughty list?
Well, you have to do something very bad. Not too many people. The naughty list is very short. We don't like it being on the naughty list. So we will keep the naughty list short unless you do something very, very bad.
Have you had any kids ask you about the nice and the naughty list? I know when they come up there and talk to you, Santa, do they ask you about that?
Oh, yes. They ask, are they on the nice list or are they on the naughty list? I say, did I ask your name? And they say, yes. And I say, the nice list is miles and miles long, and I can't remember all those names. But the naughty list is very short. and I remember those names. So if I knew your name, you'd be on the naughty list.
Oh no, Santa, we want on the nice list. Well, listen, I know at my house and everybody's house out there, when you're slimming down that chimney and hanging the stockings and delivering those gifts, they give you a little bit of refueling there with some extra sugar and some cookies and milk. What's your favorite cookie, Santa?
The round ones, like my bowl full of belly jelly.
All of them, right, Santa? You like all of them?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, Santa, but listen, there's so many houses and all in one night. I just can't wrap my head around it. How do you do it?
Oh, I know. I've heard it all before. Most people just sit there and they'll be skeptical, but it's important to try new things. And don't believe anything just because you were told to believe it. It's always good to learn and figure things out for yourself. Remember, I've been doing this for a long time and I work very, very, very hard. And anything is possible with ambition, hard work, and a little help from your reindeer friend.
Santa, listen, I love talking to you, and I know our listeners out there are loving hearing all the inside from Santa. So, folks, do not go anywhere on the Here We Grow radio show. We have the one, the only Mr. Santa Claus on the show. So we're going to take a really quick break, and then we're going to come right back, and we have to ask Santa about his being skeptical and about children writing letters and about what we're supposed to do this time of year. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back on the Here We Grow radio show.
Foguth Financial Group, just like you, we live and care about our community.
Like you, we have families that count on us. Like you, we work hard and want to be prepared to enjoy our retirement, not worry about it. Just like our clients, major publications such as the Wall Street Journal, Time Magazine, and USA Today turn to us for guidance when it comes to your financial goals. Like you, we want to make the right decisions when it comes to taking care of our family's future. We are here for you.
At Foguth Financial Group, we're just like you.
Well, welcome back, folks, to the Here We Grow radio show. And for those of you just tuning in, you are not going to believe who we have on the show here today. The one, the only, Mr. Santa Claus. And Santa, right before the break, I heard you telling everybody out there listening that anything is possible with ambition, hard work, and help from your friends. But I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical of how you can do all of that in one night.
You wouldn't be the only one, I know. But as I say, there's no point in just sitting there with a skeptical hat on. You have to go and do your research, work things out, and then reach an informed opinion. Having said that, there are a few things to take into account. People talk about how there are 6 billion people in the world, right? Well, in most circumstances, I only visit children. With exceptions, I do accept some adults, so already you have to divide that number right down. Now, not all children are nice. That is the unfortunate truth. So again, you're dividing that number, and already we have a small fraction of the huge number in the beginning. Now, by the number of houses I visit is still large, but take into account a lot of those houses have more than children and more than one child, so it makes it a lot easier. And then some countries like Hungary and Scandinavia, among others, they like to receive presents on the 5th and 6th of December. So I get a lot of those, work out of the way before Christmas Eve, and you add in all the help that I get. It's really wonderful to have the reindeer that I have. I can get through quite easily in one night.
Santa, I tell you what, you got it all figured out. And for any children out there writing a letter to you this year, do you have a specific address you like to receive letters at? Or are you the only person that's living in the North Pole called Santa, and we can just mail all letters to the North Pole to Santa?
Oh, those mail carriers, they know what they're doing and they can find their way. Anything addressed to Santa Claus will generally find its way to me, as I'm the only one. People know me everywhere. But if you want to be absolutely certain, my postal code is HOHOHO.
Oh, Santa, that makes sense to me. Now listen, it's got to be your favorite time of the year.
You split my sides, young man. Is that a serious question? It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I suppose not, Santa. Sometimes you hear about people are not believing in you. That must be a weird feeling for you. What do you say to people who don't believe?
This is a heavily considered question for me. At the end of the day, those people might be onto something, or maybe they're not. I like their thinking. They haven't met me, so they shouldn't be certain. I keep myself very low key for most of the year, but then there's all this hoopla, so it's a difficult one. But I think even the most hardline skeptics can agree that if they're talking about me, there's at least some bit of truth to me. The way I see it, for as long as I have a job to do, spread the joy and positive characteristics that I'm associated with, then leave it to me. But once critical thinking comes into play, it should not be dismayed.
One thing, Santa, listen, before we go, what would you say to all the boys and girls out there and all the children out there who are listening and watching you right now?
Now is the time to be good. I tell them it's nearly Christmas. Not long to go, so be as nice as you can. Help your parents with anything they ask. Be kind to everyone, and remember, Christmas is a time for everyone. You should be very happy. If you get a present, you should share and play with everyone who wants to play with you. And I hope I can go to your house on the night of the 24th, but you have to deserve it. And number one for all the boys and girls, listen to your parents and your teachers and go to bed on time without any fight.
That's right, Santa. Well, Santa, I'm telling you what, I know you're a busy man this time of year. What a blessing and a privilege it is to have you on the Here We Grow radio show. And for everybody out there listening and watching us here, make sure you share this with all the boys and girls out there. And you can get this at any time. You can see and listen to Santa at any time by downloading this episode and all episodes from the Here We Grow radio show on your favorite podcast provider. So, Santa, I know you're going to be listening when you're rocking around on the 24th, delivering all those presents. Thank you for everything you're doing for those boys and girls out there, and get back to work because there's a lot of good boys and girls this year.
Oh, there are. Wonderful time.
Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning into this week's show of the Here We Grow radio show. Again, if you missed any of our interview this week with Santa Claus, make sure you go back, download the episode on any of your podcast platforms, from Apple to Google to Android, you name it, we're out there for you. Or you can just go to the Here We Grow radio show and listen right live on our website, on the Foguth Financial Group website. All of episodes from this week and every week are available for download. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed Santa Claus. We had to let him go early so we could get back to work for all those good boys and girls out there. Thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Here We Grow show. To learn more about how we can help you and to get access to the resources mentioned on today's show, visit HereWeGrowShow.com. Also, don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes. Your reviews are the ways we reach more and more people each and every week. If you found today's episode helpful, you can bet there are others out there that would benefit from listening. Thanks again for taking the time to listen. Be sure to subscribe to easily access future and past episodes. Make sure to tune in next week for another great episode of the Here We Grow show.
Investment advisory services offered through Grossman Capital Management, LLC, BCM, a registered investment advisor. BCM and Foguth Financial are independent of each other. Insurance products and services are not offered through BCM, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents.